scrimmage. It's a 3rd and 5. They come up the middle. Heavy pressure in the third. Intercepted. It's picked off by Strnad. He breaks a tackle. Breaks another. Now inside the 20. Oh, disaster.
Ladies and gentlemen, very special episode coming at you in the middle of the night. The hardest man to get a hold of in Denver, Colorado. Number 40, Justin Strnad, coming off a huge victory over the New York Football Giants. Some might say the game of your career, which we've been saying a whole lot this year. Victory Wednesday, maybe this will come out. Again, woke up in the middle of the night, finally got a text back after 48 hours. But what a 48 hours it's been. A warm welcome to my co-host, but he'll kind of play the role of a guest today because he's a very special guest, Justin Strnad. Let me give you a little round of applause because you deserve it. How we feeling, man? I'm talking to you. Again, we'll call it Wednesday because it's the wee hours of the night. You guys played, I mean, I've been watching ball a long time. One of the craziest games I've ever seen. You know, you never say never, but I said never quite a few times in the fourth quarter. It was over. It was over. It was over once more. And now we're so back. How you feeling? Well, before we get into your personal, because I know that's all you like to talk about is yourself, but how you feeling a couple days after that game, man?
Dude, feeling good. Obviously 5-2 now. Wasn't feeling like we were going to be 5-2 with like going in. I mean, midway through the fourth quarter of that game. What just an unbelievable game, unbelievable. Come from behind win for us. Obviously now we're in first place in the division, which is awesome. And that we haven't done that in a long time here in Denver, so it's really cool. Yeah, I mean, just excited, man.
So, like, we could stop the corporate. Let's pull back the curtain here a little bit. How in these games? What was it? 19-0, or you guys were losing? I believe it was 19-0, right? Like,
Yeah.
Are people, when we're getting down deep in the fourth quarter, like, I know you're going to say, you know, you never lose faith, but like, what's the vibe on the sideline in a game like that, right? You guys weren't really getting anything going on offense. You know, defense wasn't playing bad necessarily, but you know, it's quite a margin to come back from in the fourth quarter.
No, yeah, like I even said this after the game, like it's a lot of us were, kind of down, like there was some negativity going on obviously on the sideline. It's a very competitive and emotional like sport. And when you have, I mean, guys are on the sideline kind of yelling and spazzing out, on each side of the ball, like we got, you know what I mean? That's just the nature of the game, but obviously to get things rolling and kind of get momentum going and stuff kind of gave us a little juice in life that we kind of needed at that moment. Like it was, like you said, we were shut out through three quarters, just had nothing. The energy, the stadium, was people were making their way out of the exits in the early fourth, and then just boom, yeah, things flipped quick, and we just had to like again, like you said, yeah, there was definitely doubt and definitely like like damn, you know what I mean. And then when things kind of got rolling, it's like all right, like we're back in the fight, like let's go, like let's keep going, and came out on top, which is sick, dude.
Well, speaking of getting things rolling, those were just two fluff questions to get us started. Things getting rolling, you, some might say, had a pretty big hand in that. Your first career interception, you've been in the NFL 6 years. What did that feel like? Now, there was like a glimpse of time, like a 4-week stretch when you were a backup linebacker at Wake Forest where you were like, they were throwing you the ball. I mean, every couple plays, it was a very strange time. I think you led the league in interceptions for linebackers while you weren't even starting, which is freaking unbelievable. Break down that play for me and then kind of the aftermath. Because again, during the game, obviously you can't really celebrate, especially given, you guys were back rolling. But then after the aftermath, just break down the play for me, actually. I'm getting
Yeah,
excited.
so we know, man, we got them. Obviously, they were kind of in that like let's run the ball and get out of here type of mode, which they should have been. They had a big lead fourth quarter, so we like it's crazy. We came out. I think it was that drive. I'm not positive, but the first two plays we came out in like goal line defense. We were like we're gonna stop the run down like. So we did that, got him to third down, and gave Dart. We were giving Dart pressure looks, sending pressure, dropping out all day long. And credit to him, he did a solid job handling it and things like that. They did a pretty good job of protecting things. But on that particular play, I happened to bail out. Alex happened to go and gave Scadaboo the work for, in the A gap. And then as Dart stepped up, he's all year, he is really, when he steps up, he's kind of taken off and went for huge gains against teams. And that was something we talked about all week. So as he started to step up, I kind of thought he was going to take off running. And I'm kind of over Scadaboo because that's technically the guy that I was covering, but he obviously stayed in for protection. So I hover over him to give body help to those other guys if they're running any crossers and things like that. And the tight end happened to be running a crosser like right behind me, and Dart stepped up and tried to just get it right over my head. And ball found my hands and just dude, stadium went nuclear. And tried my best to put on my Reggie Bush cleats and get as many yards as I could. I think I got about 20, which is good. Set our offense up for that quick score, and then the rest, dude, is history. We just went rolling, and it was just, honestly, like I was telling you earlier, it's crazy, like all the stuff that went on. You don't even like think about it during the time. It's just happening so fast, and then you like I said, you get home or things start to wind down, and you realize like you were just part of like one of the best comebacks in team history, and you know what I mean, and things like that. It's just crazy. We scored 33 points and in what, like 6 minutes or 7, you know what I mean? Just nuts, dude.
Well, have you had a chance now to like, obviously, again, we're on to Dallas, but like in the, Sunday night, Monday, have you had a chance to reflect on it? I mean, it's your first career interception, one of the craziest comebacks of all time. And I mean, it was kind of the catalyst, right? Like before that, you were kind of out of it. And then that really got it sparked. Like, have you had a chance to reflect on it?
Sort of, yeah. Like obviously in today's world of social media, I've seen it a million times at this point. You know what I mean? And but it was even cool, like to get up the next morning and my dad and everyone they were in my living room, and like it was like good morning or football, whatever, some football page, and it was playing the interception like over and over again, which was really cool. But yeah, like I won't say like yeah, I have, but I also haven't. Like I've kind of been busy the last day or so, and just trying to get back to everyone on via my phone and social media and stuff. It's been a whirlwind of a couple days, but like you said, dude, we got another huge test coming in Dallas this week, who obviously is loaded with talent. And another big test on Sunday.
Well, one more thing on that. So, one of my favorite parts about football, and I don't even know if you do this at the pro level, but obviously, defensive players, they participate in job security and ball security. Ball security is job security, and ball security drills, right? In case something crazy happens and somehow you end up with a ball in the game, right? You still have to chin it, tuck it away. Shout out to Coach Hunt, like you are a running back or a respected ball carrier. But then, so you guys go through the drills, and then you get into the game, and you do get the ball thrown to you, and you turn into prime Shady McCoy toting that pill like it's a loaf of bread, right? Has anyone brought that up to you? Because gosh, I was holding my breath as soon as, I don't know what went on. You tried to juke someone out. The 4.840 broke in. You're holding the ball like this. Did you even have a second to? You're not thinking about putting that thing away, right? You got other things on your mind while you're trying to crib it. But has anyone mentioned the ball security to you? Because it was terrible.
Dude, 100%. Our fullback, shout out to my boy Mike Burton. He's on IR for the year. But I saw him at the facility today, and first thing he said to me when I walked into the locker room was, "Dude, ball security, like, dude, we can't have the arm over when I cut back the old arm over." So that's something we're gonna have to hit in practice this week, a little ball security, and just work on keeping it high and tight. We're glad obviously nothing came loose on Sunday, but if we're gonna have more of those, which it's obviously the plan, we gotta keep it high and tight, like Coach Hunt would say.
As I said, allegedly, I might have been watching the game while operating a vehicle, looking at my phone, nearly swerved off the road, all allegedly. But what a way that would have went to go, watching Big 40 get that interception. One more question on the game. Can you tell me about your quarterback, Bo Nix? Because like the guy's gotten a lot of scrutiny this year. I feel like hearing him speak after the game, because everyone does, coach speak, talk about, how they kept the faith the whole time. He seems like a guy that like, really lives that. When you got a guy like that at quarterback, like what is the belief on the defense again? Because we were just talking about this with Dart. Some quarterbacks, I feel like kind of give the defense, there's always a chance that like, you keep them in the fight and they're going to have a puncher's chance. What's it like, having Bo Nix, a guy who can, make something happen very fast with his feet too, as we saw in the last couple minutes of that game?
No, 100%. I tell people all the time, having Bo as our quarterback is awesome because he's like how what you see in the media and things is that really is how Bo is. Bo's like all ball. He's lived a certain way his whole life, and that's like what he follows, and kind of like what he believes in, and he doesn't sway in any way. And he's a guy that believes in his preparation and what we're doing here and things like that. Obviously, like you said, he's been scrutinized. The offense has obviously been scrutinized. Like that is something that obviously has to get better. I think in all three phases we have to get better this year in order for us to get to where we want to go. But when you have a guy like that who is athletic enough to make plays with his feet. Honestly, like I even tell him sometimes, or I shouldn't say tell him. I'm yelling on the sideline half the time, like, "Yo, like use your feet a little more, bro," because he's
Yeah.
athletic. He can when
Yeah.
he takes off and gets going. He makes big plays for us, and yeah, we're gonna need him to do that all year for us to get to where we want to go. And yeah, it was awesome to see that. That was a great play call at the end of the game when we ran that quarterback, like I don't know, sweep or whatever it was. Get the old numbers game, run the quarterback, the college special. But yeah, dude, having a guy like that is always good going into a game, knowing you have a guy that can lead you to victory. And yeah, he led us to victory on Sunday.
What a week, dude. So proud of you, man. Excited to see you do the same thing against Dak and the Cowboys this week. Real quick, Surreal Gone versus Tom Aspinall. Let's get to brass tacks here. Break down the fight for me in the next 30 seconds. Who's getting it done? Who's getting the heavyweight belt? Your bum friend John Jones is finally out. Who's the new heavyweight champ? The real heavyweight champ?
Yeah, dude, I'm excited for this one. I'm excited that it's in Abu Dhabi because Saturday I'll actually get to watch it after walkthrough and meetings, which will be nice.
Nice.
And yeah, I'm obviously I'm gonna go with Tom Aspinall to get it done. I think he obviously has the power advantage, and I think he's just as athletic as a guy like Gon is, in this weight class. But that being said, I do think it's hard to break these fights down with Aspinall, honestly, because the likelihood is he comes out and lands something early and gets him out of there inside of 3 minutes. You know what I mean? But I think a guy like Gon who has shown to be a top three, from an athletic standpoint, heavyweight, and with his footwork and things like that. I think he might be able to test Aspinall a little bit and make this fight, maybe play out a little bit more than we've seen most of Aspinall's fights. Um, but part of me thinks that Aspinall is just gonna come in here and not play around and go for the takedown kind of early and get gone down and do his work on the ground. So yeah, I think Aspinall is gonna shoot pretty early, but it's hard being a volume footwork style, the gain style against a guy like Aspinall because the the punching power is just crazy. So I think Aspinall gets him out. I'm gonna go Aspinall to get him out of there in the second round. What about you?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it all. I feel like Tom will be content to stand and trade for at least a little bit. Like as technical and special of a striker that Gon is for that weight class, like he doesn't really have the touch of death. Like he's not really putting guys out with one shot. So I feel like Tom will be kind of content to stand and trade with him. I think Gon, I mean, you remember Gon was supposed to be this like once in a lifetime striker at heavyweight. And he hasn't really lived up to that, especially in these big time fights. He's got no takedown defense. I feel like it'll just be a matter of time till Tom takes it to the mat and then finishes him that way. I could see Gahn having some success on the feet, but again, he doesn't put guys away. So like, he's definitely not going to do that to Tom Aspinall. So I could see, it being an interesting, 7 minutes before Tom decides to take him down and finish it that way. But yeah, we'll break down what we see next week. Justin, proud of you, man. Good shit. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for gracing us with your presence. I'm sure the appearance fee just went up. Maybe I'll have to trade in my camera, get you on here more often. But thanks, brother.
Thanks, bro.